This evening, UN Security Council weighs in on Guyana-Venezuela border dispute, details on the latest developments and Ghana's response. Next up, tragic accident claims woman's life in Georgetown. Get the latest on the fatal incident and the circumstances surrounding it. Then, mother and son remanded for murder. Hear about the courtroom proceedings and the charges they face. Also, Ghana supports extension of International Decade for people of African descent. Learn more from the country's stance and commitment. And later, political tension rise in Haiti amid calls for governing council. Stay tuned for updates on the ongoing political turmoil in the country. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for April 16, 2024. I'm Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, a woman was crushed to death on Monday afternoon by a truck while standing alongside another vehicle on Water Street, Georgetown. The woman had been identified as Doreen Haynes. The accident was recorded on closed-circuit television. The video showed Haynes standing on the driver's side of a parked pickup talking to someone when a large truck drove alongside her, squeezing her into the pickup. Haynes fell to the road and it appears the back wheel of the truck crushed her as it drove over her body. Upon recognizing what had happened, the driver stopped immediately while persons nearby rushed to her assistance. The woman was rushed to the hospital where she was officially pronounced dead. In other news, a mother and son were charged with murder following a dispute over a damaged speaker. Dale Jarvis has more details.
42-year-old Alicia Edmondson and her son 22-year-old Malachi Kennedy of Perry Street, Tocqueville, Georgetown were charged with the murder of Amaziah Howinkirk, a 36-year-old laborer of Unity Place Festival City, Georgetown, when they appeared at the Georgetown Magistrate Court on Monday, April 15, 2024. The mother and son duo were not required to enter a plea and were remanded to prison until May 7, 2024. The charges stem from an incident on April 11, 2024, when a dispute over a damaged speaker box escalated between Edmondson, her son Kennedy, and Howinkirk, a friend of Kennedy. The following day, April 12, 2024, tensions rose again when Kennedy encountered Howinkirk and another individual named Sion on Perry Street. An altercation ensued, leading them to Edmondson's residence. During the confrontation at Edmondson's residence, Sion allegedly struck Edmondson with a hockey stick, prompting her to retrieve a knife and allegedly stab Howinkirk multiple times. Following the altercation, Howinkirk and Sion fled the scene and sought medical treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital. However, Howinkirk succumbed to his injuries while receiving treatment. The tragic incident has resulted in murder charges against Edmondson and Kennedy, emphasizing the severe consequences of altercations turned violent. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. The government of Guyana, in a statement, said it welcomes the United Nations Security Council statement issued on April 15, 2024, regarding Venezuela's enactment of the Organic Law for the Defense of Guyana's Essequibo, which aims to annex a significant portion of Guyana's territory. The Security Council reminded both parties of their obligations under the International Court of Justice's Order of Provisional Measures issued on December 1, 2023, urging them to refrain from actions that could escalate the dispute. Guyana appreciates the Security Council's reaffirmation of the principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and non-aggression as outlined in the UN Charter. The government hopes that this statement will contribute to regional peace and security, emphasizing its commitment to resolving the controversy peacefully through the International Court of Justice. The Guyana government expresses gratitude to the Security Council for their attention to this crucial matter. Stick around when we return. Guyana supports call for second International Decade of People of African Descent, and fatal accident of miners sparks investigation.
This Mother's Day, celebrate in style and give mom the chance to win big. Simply top up with $1,000 or more for a chance to be one of 5 lucky winners of a brand new, fully stocked French door fridge with groceries worth over $550,000 each. One winner will be selected weekly from April 5th to May 9th. Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl, forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Jeepney with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. The persistence of fatal accidents in industrial workplaces remains a pressing issue. Police and Regional Division 7 are investigating the death of Stephen Mark Samuels, a 47-year-old miner of Karab Mission, Cameroon River, Region 2. Samuel was working on a 6-inch land dredge in Peruni Back Dam, Peruni River on April 14, 2024, when part of the western wall collapsed into the pit, covering him. Despite efforts from fellow workers, Samuel was found motionless under the rubble. Police arrived at the scene and observed no signs of violence on Samuel's body. He was officially pronounced dead on arrival at the Peruni Health Center, and his body awaits a postmortem examination in Georgetown after being transported from the Bartica Regional Hospital mortuary. Investigations into the incident are ongoing. In other news, Guyana has voiced support for the proposal of a second international decade for people of African descent, as confirmed by Minister Juanit Waldron at the 3rd session of the Permanent Forum on People of African Descent in Geneva, Switzerland. With the current international decade set to conclude in 2024, widespread calls have been made for an extension. Minister Waldron emphasized Ghana's commitment to improving the conditions of people of African descent through supporting the forum's work and implementing programs for the benefit of Guyanese of African descent. She highlighted Ghana's multiculturalism and dedication to ensuring its entire population's well-being. Additionally, Minister Waldron reiterated Ghana's support for CARICOM's stance on repatriation for descendants of enslaved Africans, noting the establishment of a national repatriation committee within CARICOM's framework. On a different note, 22-year-old Nicholas White of Shell Road, Kitty, Georgetown, was remanded to prison for the possession of 52 pounds of marijuana for the purpose of trafficking when he appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Monday, April 15. White appeared before Senior Magistrate Clive Nurse, where the charge was read to him. He pleaded not guilty when the charge was read to him and was remanded. The matter was adjourned to June 30th, 2024 for report. According to initial reports, on April 13, 2024, around 22 hours, ranks acting on information intercepted a white Primo car driven by White at Ramp Road, Ranfield, Georgetown. A search was conducted on the vehicle and ranks found a brown salt bag with 15 bulky parcels containing leaf seeds and stems suspected to be cannabis wrapped with transparent plastic. The 22-year-old was arrested, cautioned, and placed in custody. Don't go away after the break. Iconic Philippine Jeepney under threat amid modernization project. A knife attack at church in Australia's Sydney. A terrorist attack, police says.
This Mother's Day, celebrate in style and give mom the chance to win big. Simply top up with $1,000 or more for a chance to be one of 5 lucky winners of a brand new, fully stocked French door fridge with groceries worth over $550,000 each. One winner will be selected weekly from April 5th to May 9th. Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Welcome to Fortune Investment Company, your #1 eco-friendly cleaning and janitorial company in Guyana. At Fortune Investment Company, we specialize in commercial and residential cleaning. Whether it's your home or office, our experienced team is detail-focused and take pride in providing excellent services to make your spaces sparkle. Restaurants and kitchen cleaning? Aren't you tired of hearing your chef complain? Keep your culinary spaces spotless and hygienic with our dedicated maintenance services. Floor scrubbing and polishing? Elevate the look of your home or business. Give your floors a new lease on life with our professional scrubbing and polishing. But that's not all. We also offer power washing and steam cleaning. Say goodbye to dirt and moss. Our power washing services will leave your surfaces looking brand new. Revitalize your carpets, mattresses, and chairs with our thorough steam cleaning services. When you want someone to clean your space with care and without the unhealthy chemicals, you want Fortune Investment Company. Call us now at 646-0405 or 689-7558 or 639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jacksonville Housing Scheme, North Rumville, to schedule your cleaning and janitorial services. Visit our business pages at Fortune Investment Company to learn more about our services and promotion. Fortune Investment Company, where cleanliness meets perfection, because a clean space is a happy space. And remember, we do the dirty works while you stay clean.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Jeepney with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smalls make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Haitian political parties aiming to establish a long-awaited governing council demand its immediate installation, accusing the outgoing prime minister of altering previous agreements. This plea follows a decree in Haiti's official gazette announcing the council's formation, a month after Prime Minister Ariel Henry pledged to resign amid increasing gang violence in the capital. The council's purpose is to ensure a smooth transition from Henry's leadership in power since 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse to new elections. However, political disagreements have delayed its formation. Stakeholders challenged the decree's modification and urged adherence to the April 3rd agreement, fearing further delays amid Haiti's ongoing security and political turmoil. It is a blockbuster legal case set to dominate headlines for weeks to come. On Monday, Donald Trump became the first United States president, past or present, to stand trial in a criminal case. Jury selection is underway this week. Al Jazeera's Christine Salome reports.
Former President Donald Trump arrived at Manhattan District Court on Monday for jury selection in the first of 4 criminal trials he's facing. As usual, he wasn't shy about expressing his opinion.
This is an assault on America. Nothing like this has ever happened before. There's never been anything like it. Every legal scholar said this case is nonsense. It should never have been brought.
The 34 charges against him stem from a $130,000 payment made to this woman, a former adult film star known as Stormy Daniels.
Oh, be careful, Stormy.
She says she received it in the run-up to the 2016 election to buy her silence about a sexual encounter, which Trump denies ever happened. But paying Daniels itself isn't illegal. The crime is the alleged attempt to disguise it as a payment for legal services.
You can pay hush money. This is America. If you want to pay someone to not speak and not talk about it, that's okay, as long as they're consenting to it. The crime comes in is the way these payments were characterized in 2 different places, both in the Trump Organization and in Michael Cohen's record.
The president's former fixer, lawyer Michael Cohen, pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations related to those payments in 2018. Here is Trump speaking to reporters on Air Force One earlier that year.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels? Then why did Michael Cohen make it if there was no truth or allegation?
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael.
Cohen and Daniels' testimony will be key to the prosecution's case. Other potential witnesses include Karen McDougal, the former model whose claim of an affair with Trump was also silenced, and former White House insiders like Hope Hicks and Kellyanne Conway. Before the prosecution can begin presenting its case, they and the defense must agree on 12 jurors who will decide the president's guilt or innocence. That process alone could take days or even weeks. If found guilty, the former president could face jail time, but the expected appeal would likely drag into next year, after the election. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, New York.
Internationally, jeepneys are one of the most iconic symbols of the Philippines, but a government program plans to phase out around 200,000 of the vintage vehicles. That's provoked a strike by drivers who says they can't afford new trucks. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Lowe reports.
After extending the deadline repeatedly, Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says this one is final. Jeepney drivers must join cooperatives or work under corporate management by April 30th. It's the first step in the government's effort to phase out the old, worn-out transportation vehicles. But some drivers oppose the modernization program.
You should be helping us, Filipinos, President Marcos. Why are you favoring foreign businessmen?
They're on a 2-day strike to demand that the government allow them to replace or repair their jeepneys without losing their operators' licenses.
Jeepneys are one of the Philippines' most recognizable cultural symbols. The drivers are here protesting because they're afraid they'll eventually vanish. But an even bigger worry for them is that they'll lose their income and independence if the government goes ahead with new rules regulating jeepneys.
New rules that some other jeepney union leaders like Juancho Caparino say are acceptable after the Marcos administration approved upgraded jeepneys by local manufacturers.
The cooperative or corporate setup is good for fleet management. The dispatch of vehicles will follow a schedule and drivers won't have to compete for passengers.
Victory Leonda Motors was ready 5 years ago with a prototype that met the government's new standards. Spacious, air-conditioned, with a cleaner engine.
This is the minimum requirement for the modern jeepney. Euro 4 and Euro 5.
And perhaps just as important, it retained the look of the traditional Philippine jeepney. But up until its approval last year, the government had pushed for minibuses to replace jeepneys. Now competitors are building their own fleet of up-to-date jeepneys, including electric-powered ones. Transport officials say more than 80% of drivers are now in cooperatives or employed by businessmen. But striking drivers say if they can paralyze public transport now, taking them off the streets permanently could leave millions of Filipinos stranded. Barnaby Lowe, Al Jazeera, Manila.
Finally, police in Australia have arrested a 15-year-old boy over a knife attack on a bishop and his followers at an Orthodox Assyrian church in Sydney, declaring the assault a terrorist attack motivated by suspected religious extremism. Hundreds of riot police were deployed when the bishop's supporters gathered at the church. Al Jazeera's Jacob Brown reports.
It's an incident that shocked not only churchgoers but those watching the service live online. Bishop Mari Emanuel of the Orthodox Assyrian Church attacked while delivering his Monday sermon. Members of the congregation overpowered the suspect immediately after. A 16-year-old boy has since been arrested. In the hours after the attack, a crowd of hundreds seeking revenge gathered outside the church, hurling bricks and bottles, wounding police, and preventing officers from taking the teen outside. The incident took hours to bring under control. The church and local leaders have pleaded for calm.
A number of houses have been damaged. They've broken into a number of houses to gain weapons to throw at the police. They've thrown weapons and items at the church itself. There was obviously people who wanted to get access to the young person who has caused the injuries to the clergy people.
God said, "This is a male."
Bishop Mari Emanuel is a charismatic and controversial figure with a significant online following. He was an outspoken critic of COVID-19 lockdowns and is known for preaching anti-LGBTQ views. Police say the attack was religiously motivated.
We believe there are elements that are satisfied in terms of religious motivated extremism.
10 years ago, his church reportedly broke away from the main Assyrian Church of the East after the bishop was excommunicated over theological differences. The attack comes just days after a mass stabbing at a Sydney shopping mall, which left 6 people dead.
This is a disturbing incident. There is no place for violence in our community. There is no place for violent extremism. We are a peace-loving nation.
Police are continuing to investigate the attacker's motives, while Christ the Good Shepherd Church has published a statement denouncing any retaliation. Jacob Brown, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.